Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here, and this topic is a little interesting. Overwatch looks fucking amazing. Like, I like the characters, the way they're designed, I like the environment, I like the fact that it's a colorful game, and I like the fact that if there is a story, which I don't know if it's story-driven, seeing that it's multiplayer, I don't think it is, but if there is an extensive story to this game, I'd like to see and hear it, you know? It seems like I got invested in how it looks and how it is. Then I found out it's a first-person shooter, and I was like, what? I would have been like, I really wanted to play it when I first heard about it, then I heard it was a shooter, and I'm like, well, now I only kind of want to play it. I don't know. I just don't gravitate towards first-person shooters. And here's the funny thing about that. I really wish it was like, I wish Overwatch was like a third-person shooter, or like a third-person like adventure game or something. A first-person shooter for something that looks like this? I don't know. Okay, let's kind of rewind. I don't gravitate towards first-person shooters, but here's the thing. Shooters and first-person games are two different genres, because you've got something like Portal, which isn't, you know, a first-person shooter in the traditional sense, but it is a first-person game. It's like a puzzle thriller, I guess. It's a puzzle game. And shooters, I love Splatoon. That's a third-person shooter, you know? And it's really cool. Because again, of the world, in fact, it's colorful. And there is a story mode, you know? That's really cool. Overwatch, now, I saw gameplay of other characters besides the ones that just have the guns. So it's not technically a strictly shooter game, because you've got characters that do other things, that don't have guns and whatnot. Some have like swords, others have like, I don't even know what else. Like, there's just so much variety in that game that it looks like a really, that is, okay, well, I'm getting so many thoughts at once, I'm really sorry. If you've heard me before, I don't know if I've said it here, I might have, but if you watch, I guess link down below, our Call of Duty Advanced Warfare speculative review on Trash Talk back in E3 2014, that game kind of caught my eye as a Call of Duty game, being like, are they finally gonna fucking do something different? So it mildly caught my interest, because it's like, hey, I think they're gonna do something different. No, they didn't, but you know, it's just Call of Duty Future. But there was a kind of intrigue there. A kind of intrigue there because it looked like they were going to actually fucking innovate, you know? They didn't, but this game, I think, is like one of the first-person shooter games to be like, with me, to catch my attention, to be like, oh my god, this looks awesome, I want to play it. And I really, really mean that. I really do want to play Overwatch. Whether or not I actually do that's just whether or not I put the time in to try and find a way to play it, you know? But first person versus third person, there is obviously a huge difference, but with me, there's a difference. So let me kind of explain that. How is it that I can love Splatoon, which is, it's a shooter, you know? If they put it in first person, it wouldn't be far off from something that Overwatch is doing, besides the fact that Overwatch is a little more grittier and a little more mature with their humor and all that, I would assume. I mean, I don't know. But it seems like one that would be more mature with its humor. But how can I love something like Splatoon, be interested in something like Overwatch, but hate Call of Duty? You know? That seems kind of weird. It's like, well, Overwatch is a first-person shooter, Call of Duty is a first-person shooter. Why do you like that and not that? Have you fucking seen it? Look, it's different. It's actually different. It's actually innovative. It actually looks appealing and interesting. This is the way you bring in people. Remember when I was telling you guys? I forgot what video it was, but I told you guys, I can get into shooters or grittier games like that if you fucking do it right. If there's an appeal, if there's a way to pull in people who don't normally play games like that. This is it. This is one of them. This is what I was talking about. It looks really interesting, and I really want to play it. Now, will I? Hopefully, eventually, if I get the chance. Not online, because I'm assuming that... Now, I'm assuming. You know, I might have to do at least 1 or 2 matches to be proven wrong. But with that kind of audience there that, you know, likes to fuck around with people and, you know, they play online with these kinds of games, I just don't like that whole area of gaming when you talk trash on people and do whatever the fuck online, and that's what everyone likes to play shooters for, is the online multiplayer. That's fine and all. I honestly couldn't give a shit, but if there's an investment, like an intriguing story, like a campaign, as the kids call it nowadays, if there's a campaign mode or whatever else, if there's local multiplayer that's actually really good and not like Splatoons, I think I could have some fun with it. I think I could have some real fun with that game. So how is it that I like something, I love something already like Splatoon, which yeah, does have its problems like I was just saying, but I can also like something, appreciate something like Overwatch. It's a first-person shooter. Well, like I was saying, let's start going down the points. Point one being, it has to look intriguing. A first-person game should look intriguing and catch someone's eye. Even someone who plays those games, well, yes, they're gonna gravitate to that like bees to a hive. Sorry, honey, whatever. You can make it appealing for the shooter fans, because whatever, it's a shooter game, they're gonna gravitate toward it. Like the comparison I was trying to make right now and failed horribly on. But to bring in new people, you need to make it especially appealing. So that way, like, if you really wanna, okay, now I've brought this argument up with some friends before, but if you want to catch the attention of other people, I mean, let me see, how's I gonna word this? Because you've got your audience. So if you have one target audience and there's your demographic, then boom, you've already appealed to them. That's the game, those are the people you're making the game for, first and foremost. But there is such a thing as expanding your demographic, so you're gonna want to make sure, I would think, it just makes sense, in my opinion, that you'd want to make your game appealing, not just for the people that you're targeting, but to try and get in more people. Don't you want more people? Don't you want more money? To bring in people that don't even really regularly play these kinds of games, it should be appealing. And Overwatch is. Also, Overwatch is the first, apparently, according to Weston, I was talking to him about this last night, Overwatch is like the first new IP Blizzard's done in like years, you know? So that caught everyone off guard. I don't even know if Blizzard did any shooters in the past. They might have. That's how little I know about Blizzard, but Overwatch looks awesome. Now, why did I say that I'd rather it be like a third-person shooter or a third-person like action-adventure kind of a game instead of like a shooter? I think it'd be so much more interesting. Again, the way the characters look, the way the characters are, the variety of characters, if there was a story, it would be like really, really awesome to go through that story in not a first-person shooter kind of way. The environments, everything, it just looks so intriguing. I didn't think or expect it to be a first-person shooter. I never would have guessed. If I still to this day did not know what genre Overwatch was, say they never said what genre it was, I'd be left guessing. Well, it looks like it's going to be like a third-person shooter or some kind of action-adventure game. I would not have. This looks like a shooter. This is a shooter, like a first-person shooter. I would not have really have guessed that, because it doesn't look like that to me. The fact that it is kind of puts me down, because I would have rather preferred it be a third-person game. So why third-person, not first-person? You could get away with a lot more in third-person, even with third-person shooters like Splatoon. The maneuverability and everything else. There's a way. It has platforming elements, you know, it's kind of a platformer at that point, especially with the single player in Splatoon. There are things you can get away with and do that you just can't in first person. Because in first person, you'd have to like turn everywhere you had to turn and go everywhere you had to go. And that's one of the things that didn't appeal to me for first person shooters. When you want to explore something, like which I think is unheard of, if you ever wanted to experience the campaign in a Call of Duty game, having to go from place to place. Okay, how about Halo? That makes more sense. Halo's pretty story-driven. If you're walking around everywhere in Halo, you're going pretty slow, or you're jogging, or whatever the case is, but the exploration, I don't know how they do their exploration, but say Halo was like a third-person game, you could get away with a lot. with, if you want to do some platforming kind of stuff, you know, you could. Not that you'd have to, or because I like platformers, you should do platforming. Like, no. But you could do some creative stuff with that. Or just the exploration in general, you can do some creative stuff with that. Even in the realms of a shooter, with it being multiplayer online like Splatoon, their level design is very intricate because of the characters. Like, that's why everything is linked. Because the characters are who they are, they built the levels around what the characters can do, and that's really innovative. That's good game design. When you build levels, Spyro, when I talk platforming, Spyro does this well. You build levels and abilities and whatever around the characters, boom, linked right there already. Characters with environments and whatnot, there you go. It amplifies the experience. So, first-person shooters tend to do the same thing every time, where either if they're the grittier ones, you're some random generic soldier guy. So there's not a lot. You're shooting, you're throwing shit, and you're ducking, and you're hiding behind cover, and then you peek out and you shoot. And that's kind of it. There's no real... The only exploring you do is by looking around and doing and picking up and seeing shiny objects and picking them up and getting ammo. That's the extent of your exploring in a typical first-person shooter. But if you're going to do something like a third-person shooter, like Splatoon, you can really design aspects around the characters. You can give the characters more maneuverability because it's in third person. You can now finally see wherever you're going. When you turn, the camera don't turn with you in the way it does in a shooter. You can get away with a lot more with maneuverability, with the abilities of the characters and stuff like that. But the fact that Overwatch has, like, each character I think has their own unique ability. I think some can even like fly or something like that. Imagine it, now I'm not sure if it goes into third person, like if you're flying with the character, like if that's a thing. But imagine if it did. Now I'm not sure if it does. If it does, then tell me down below, how's that experience? How's it feel if there's a third person perspective if you're flying? But if not, imagine that. That'd be freaking cool. And if the whole game was a third person game, you could get away with a lot more. You can still have it online multiplayer, have that your main mode if you want, your main way of getting everyone to buy your game by having an awesome, extensive online multiplayer. But if you're in third person, for a game like Overwatch, that would be really, really cool. Because again, the game is appealing, it has awesome characters, it has awesome aesthetics. It looks cool, and I would like to play it. And I would even prefer it more if it were to have done something like that. Because there's a whole lot you can get away with by doing that, so it doesn't feel like a typical... It doesn't look like a typical first-person shooter. Why would it play like a typical first-person shooter? I don't think it does, but the fact that it's still in first person, I wasn't expecting that. I was really hoping it would be something in third person, because you can get a lot more... You can get away with a lot more by doing that. In the vein of Splatoon. So... I guess that's my only point. I said I was going to go down the points. I think that's the only point. It has to be intriguing, or maybe I just mixed them all into one. You can get away with a lot more. You can design levels and other things around the characters that you just really can't... You can't really do it to a full extent if it's in first person. Like I said before, I brought up this example, Portal. Portal does do this, you know. The character herself isn't special, but she has the portal gun. The levels and the map layouts are designed, the chamber layouts rather, are designed around using the portal gun. So that makes sense, you know. But there's no real exploration. Okay, I kind of take that back. There is exploration. There's a way to do it right. Somehow, Valve did it right with Portal. I just can't see something like that happening. Okay, here's why. I just thought of this. Because Portal is, first and foremost, a single-player experience. They have their co-op, but a single-player experience where you're taking control of one character only, you have a goal, you do your goal, it's a game, it's linear, you do your thing, and there you go. In that sense, building stuff around, building levels and maps and what have you, whatever terms you want to throw around the characters and their abilities, shooting the portal gun, and all that stuff, done superbly well. Something more open and expanded like Overwatch, I feel deserves something that feels more expansive and open. Like if it were in third person. Because you could get away with a lot more, like I've been saying throughout this entire video. It would be cool, and I kind of wish that it was third person. But the fact that it's first person, I'm intrigued. I'm actually legitimately intrigued. No one's making me sit with a cue card. I always look around this way or that way, but I'm not looking at any particular, I'm not reading a teleprompter or anything like that. I legit think this game looks amazing, and I would like to play it at some point. So I'm not sure if I'm doing a kind of video on it. I really don't know if it's a gameplay video or maybe I'll do a first impressions on it. Maybe at some point, okay, look forward at some point soon, well I don't know about soon, at some point for a Mark's first impressions on Overwatch. Because I'm intrigued, I really want to play this game, I want to see how it unfolds. A lot of people are saying that it doesn't look that interesting, and that's where it's confusing as fuck. How could you not love the world that they've built for this game? Some people are saying it doesn't look that interesting, I don't really care for whatever, it's too overhyped, it's too overrated, it just came out. I'm like, this is the first person shooter that actually does everything better than Call of Duty and Halo and all that could. How could you not like this? How? I don't understand. Something that, like, I'm actually intrigued and want to play it. Now, of course, there's a huge ass audience for this game, but a lot of the consensus I'm hearing from other people that I guess just love their Call of Duties or whatever is that it doesn't look interesting. And I'm over here like, how? How does it not look interesting? It looks like Borderlands or something, but not cel shaded. It looks really cool. Even Borderlands, I was like, it looks intriguing. I wasn't totally on board with it like I am with this game, but I was like, it's funny, it has humor, you know, the character, it's story driven, you know, that's a start. So now that, you know, Borderlands, I'm not sure if I wouldn't really go as far, unless it is, to say that Borderlands was the first person shooter to be innovative, you know, in the sense of making it funny, making it colorful, making it, you know, story driven, first and foremost. But I think Borderlands is something that started that kind of a trend to where you can go all out, like, hey guys, knock knock, did you know you can go all out with your games, with your shooters? Don't be afraid to step out of the gray monochromatic world into a colorful one with your shooters. Overwatch looks amazing. I kind of wish it was still in third person. I didn't really expect it or feel like it should be a first person shooter, but whatever they get away with it being a first person shooter, hopefully it's Team Fortress 2 I also just remembered is that kind of also of a game where it's colorful, it's got characters that are funny, and the world does look kind of, you know, good for what it's worth. But Overwatch just kind of caught me off guard. It looks really cool. So with that being said, what do you guys think? First person versus third person with any particular genre? I guess we're talking about shooters, so first person shooters versus third person shooters. Which do you prefer? Do you kind of understand what I'm getting at, or agree or disagree with what I'm getting at? Let's say you can get away with a lot more in a third person shooter than you could with a first person shooter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I want to play Overwatch. I really, really do. So with that being said, I'm Marcelo. I'll see you guys later. Take care.